Alright, hi guys. I'm back with the second part of this video. The first part was an intro. If you haven't seen that, I'm gonna link it up in the corner up here in this card. I would recommend seeing that first because it explains this. Actually, I'm gonna link the playlist that all these are on. This is part of a 5-part video series. This is the first part, and this is the part where I explain what my favorite panfish lures are and how to rig up your barrel swivel. Alright, so we're going to start with the barrel swivel. So you take this, and there's a little loop right there. Alright, so when you hold it like that, and you simply thread your line straight through it. It's a bit larger hoop than the hook, so it should be easier. But see how it just hangs on them? That's what you want. Alright, then you take your tail, so you make sure you have a nice enough tail, you know. Try to get in the middle there. Ah, shoot, I just dropped my line. Just give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Okay, then you take this, and you pair it up with this line up here. So it's like this. Okay. And then you wrap this line around once, twice, 3 times. I like to go 4 times, actually. And you just pull it tight and you hold it on the bottom there, alright? So I'm holding those 4 loops. Okay, then I make myself a loop with this line. See, there's a big loop right there. Okay, then after the loop, I wrap around 7 more times. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, then you thread it back through that hole that you just made, that little loop that you made earlier. Alright, there you go. So then you get a little tail on the end, right there. And you bite that tail with your teeth and hold everything together and pull it tight. Okay, so it'll look kind of like that. Start out. And then you're just going to hold the swivel, and take your line and loop it around your finger like this. Just pull it tight, alright? And if you've done it right, you should see a little amount of line on top of that barrel swivel. Okay? And then to test it, just wrap your finger on the line and then just go like this. Alright, if you can't get it off, you're good. Now you have this big tail on the back. Now you're going to want to cut that off, alright? Well, this is where your knife comes into play. Mine isn't very sharp right now. I gotta sharpen it, so take me a minute. Alright, so you see how I got that little bit of line off? Now I have just a little tiny nub right there. Okay, so that takes care of the barrel swivel. We're going to set that aside. And now I'm going to show you my favorite panfish lures, alright? Now these aren't going in any particular order, and I am going to promote some brand. Like I'm going to say, oh, I really like this brand, I really don't like this brand, I don't like their stuff. I'm not being sponsored at all, it's just how I truly feel about lures. Alright, so here's one of my favorites. It's a small spinner. It has these 2 colorful beads on it, this spinner, this little black thing, and then this treble hook. Now the treble hook has feathers on it, so fish can't see it as well. And what happens is when this goes through the water, this little thing will spin super fast and be shiny. Alright, now it doesn't sound like it'll catch a lot of fish. To the fishermen it does, but to regular people who haven't really ever been lure fishing before, it doesn't. But trust me, it does. And I have about 5 of these little suckers of different colors and sizes in my tackle box, and I regularly use them. This is, in my opinion, the best panfish lure. I mean, I always catch panfish on this. I mean, this is a quite large model. I mean, you can catch anywhere from monster pike, or not monster pike. You definitely won't catch a pike on this. You'll catch like monster panfish, some really super big perch I've caught on this. I even caught a small bass on this one time, but it was really small. Alright, now next, set that down for now. Now next, here's a very similar lure, but it's a spoon this time. See, it's a fluorescent spoon, and it has a treble hook on it, and the treble hook is tied. So when this goes through the water, this is whipping really super fast, this bright color. It's just like a fly in the back of the water. So it looks like a fly is running through the water, and there's like an LED light almost on it, worth of spinning, so that's a good one. Alright, then here I have a little crayfish. This is something I got a long time ago. I bought it for myself. Works really well. Looks just like a crayfish. And it even swims backwards like a crayfish because of the lip that's on the back of the tail. So it's very convincing. And see how it has an orange understomach? That is to make it look like it's a sickly one. And it has these 2 treble hooks on here. If something bites this, they ain't getting off. So this is a really good one if you're fishing like on the river or somewhere where there's crayfish. If it's not crayfish, you won't catch none, but if there's somewhere there's crayfish or even have been crayfish, you will catch something on this. Alright, and then here's another brand that you can trust with all your lures. If they make a lure, it will be good. It's called Daredevil. They're a classic. All fishermen have used them at some point in their lives. Alright, now this Daredevil's pretty beaten up, showing how many fish I've caught with it. It's a little small Daredevil. This is a very small model. And this works for perch real well. If you find a perch honey hole, and you just catching the little scrappy ones, but you're catching them pretty consistently, throw this on your line, throw it out there, and you will get a big perch. Almost guaranteed. Almost guaranteed. Then next, I have one of these. It looks like a furry jig. This one's hot pink. It basically looks like a fly. You put your line through this little eye right here, and then you just bob it up and down. You just like jig it up and down in the water, and oh, does it work good. This will catch a lot of panfish, and they make real big models, and those will catch anything. These will catch any type of fish depending on the size of this lure. They make real big ones for like bass and other stuff, but I have the small one for panfish. Okay, now next is this. It's basically a miniature Rapala. It's actually made by Rapala. It's miniature. It looks like a little mini trout. Very easy meal for panfish, perch, anything. It looks like what they would actually eat in the wild. And I'm a big believer in that, as well as like the bright colors and flashy stuff. I like the natural looking stuff, so that's why I like these two. That's why I like these two, the crayfish and the minnow, because they look natural. You know, it looks like something they'd actually eat if they weren't trying to get caught by fishermen. All right, then here's the last one, just because it's a little bit more complicated to explain. It's the rubber worm and jig. Now, you use this for all different types of fish, and you just have like different rooms for different fish, you know, and different size jigs, but you use it for literally every type of fish. This is about a panfish size jig. I'd recommended using these in the last video for practicing tying knots, and I still do. See, they have a little bit bigger hole that makes them a little bit easier, and they have this little hook on the bottom. So what you do to put them on, and you pair these almost always with a rubber worm. Okay, so you take this and you take the rubber worm. This is just one I have like on hand. And you put it through its nose looking thing right here. And you sink it in and you squish the worm onto it. Right, you want to get as much onto it as you can. Okay, and you poke it through the bottom, so that's what halfway done. And then you want to push the worm all the way up to the head of the jig. Right, all the way up to the head. So there you go. Now when something bites this little worm one going through the water, I'll get a nice hook in their mouth. This is actually one of the better ones I've done. And see this little tail on the back? That's why I like this one in particular, because when it goes like that the entire time you're reeling in. Now with jigs, you fish them differently than other lures. With this one and this one, these are both variations of different jigs. You put them on your line, then you drop them, and you wait till it hits the water. You don't click your bail right away. You wait till it hits the bottom of the water, like the bottom, and then you just pull your rod tip up and let it back down, and reel in a little bit. Pull it up, and let it back down. That way, if this is the bottom of the water, this is what it's doing. Which looks very good to fish. Any experienced fisherman will tell you, you're having a tough day, you're just not getting bites on bobbers with panfish, try lures, because everybody thinks panfish, oh, bobber fishing, you know, bobber fishing, cane pole, you know, classic. But actually, most of the big panfish, the big like hunker panfish, the hang 'em on your wall panfish, as I like to call them, those aren't caught on bobbers. I have a real big panfish up in my room, 9 inches. I caught it on this little guy right here. You know, that's actually why it has the big scar on it right there on the back. But you know, big fish caught on lures most of the time. So it pays to get good at lure fishing, because you can technically bobber fish for a pike, for a bass, but you won't catch as much. And when you're not catching, you're not having as much fun. And plus, it's nice just to cast lures sometimes. I mean, just the casting. And you'll finally get a bite, and it's one of the most exciting feelings in the world. So I'd recommend trying bobber fishing. Alright, so that wraps it up for the panfish segment. Hope you guys all are having a good day, and see you in the next one.